Recording. Woo!
Woo!
Everybody, it's that bitch in the thrift store wig.
And I'm rotten to the core.
And it's icy giving candy realness.
Woo! And we are here for all
the slander.
So All the Slander is our music review vlog that we do in between Boys Love Reviews. And this time it is a very special music review because we have our dear friend Alex with us.
Hi. Thank you for inviting me to do this.
So Alex, what made you decide that you were the lamb representative that needed to be part of this vlog?
Well, I have now over 10 years of listening to Mariah Carey and very much enjoying her music works. And when I heard you guys were planning to do this, part of your deep discography dive, I just really wanted to be a part of it because she is definitely one of my favorites.
Awesome. So how'd you get started listening to Mariah?
So when we talk about one of the songs on the track list, that is how I found it, but it basically is through my dad back when we used to have Sirius radio in the car.
Oh, that's cool.
All right.
That's
what about
awesome.
you, Sam? What was your introduction to Mariah?
My introduction to Mariah was the same introduction that most of America got. I was introduced to Mariah with Vision of Love. I was a kid when that song came out. And actually, fun fact, Mariah Carey is the only pop star that my grandmother listens to. And my grandmother is 89, but she loves Mariah Carey. So Mariah Carey has been a part of my life for a really long time. And I think like most people who were around my age when Mariah Carey debuted, not only has her music been a big part of our life because the internet wasn't a thing at that time. So whatever was on the radio was a big part of your life because the radio was always on. But also like we followed her life. Like we followed her marriage to Tommy Mottola. We followed her dating life. We followed her breakdown on TRL. Like all of those things about Mariah have been a part of my pop culture life the whole time. So Mariah is somebody who, I mean, even if I wasn't a fan, I would have never been able to escape her music because it was so massive, especially in the 90s.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. So Mason, how about you? What is your experience with Mariah?
I'm the newbie of the group here. I know, okay, so the Mariah I know is like New Year's Eve Mariah. I know New Year's Eve Mariah. I know Beefing with Nikki on American Idol Mariah. You know, All for Christmas Is You. I know like a couple songs, but like in terms of Mariah in her heyday, no. Like her last big hit, I think was Touch My Body. And I was like 11 when that came out. So It's been a minute since Mariah's, you know, been musically in pop culture besides All I Want for Christmas Is You.
Got it. So prior to us doing this filming, I did send a podcast link to both Mason and Alex about kind of the trajectory of All I Want for Christmas Is You. It's a very interesting story. I'm not going to get into it right now, but I did want to feed a little bit of background to Mason in particular before we get started with the music, because I think it does help to kind of know, you know, how important Mariah is as an artist, and then go back and be like, I can see why when I'm listening to the music, why people would latch on to these moments.
Right.
So I guess we need to start from the very beginning, which is Vision of Love.
Yes.
Yes.
How do we go about this?
Okay. Vision of Love, I have to say, this was the song that made my grandmother a fan. Because at the time she was like, how come everybody in the radio is always screaming and doing all these runs? I like the way this girl sang it. Straightforward, beautiful singing. And I'm like, I love you, Mimi. But yeah, one of the things about this song is like, this is a very straightforward singing of a song. There's not a lot in it that you're like, oh, she's really doing a lot of runs. She's really doing a lot of like ad libs and things until you get towards the end. And then Mariah does something that really only one other artist in popular culture was known for. And she hits the whistle note. And this is really important because people were not hitting whistle notes in popular music. Probably the most popular song with a whistle note before Mariah Carey was Minnie Riperton with the song Loving You. So when Mariah was doing the whistle note, a lot of people were like, what the hell was that? And of course, being a kid, everyone on the schoolyard was trying their best to hit the note and just failing completely. So, I mean, already Mariah became a legend right then because she introduced something into popular music that just hadn't really been there like that before.
Oh, interesting. I feel so bad for all of your teachers in middle school watching the kids at recess and they're all just screaming their heads off trying to hit that note. And they're like, it's never going to happen.
It was pretty bad. It was pretty bad.
I really liked the video. It's like the most 90s thing I've ever seen though. Like I've consumed a lot of media inspired by the 90s. Like I've listened to a lot of music or watched videos that are very 90s inspired, but not a lot of like actual 90s videos. This feels like the most 90s video I've ever seen. I feel like I've seen it parodied before.
It definitely is a style that has been used a lot. REM has a video called Losing My Religion that I swear must have been filmed on the same set because it's so similar. But yeah, that kind of like sound stage with a green screen background, very, very plain, which is weird because Sony put a lot of money into Mariah Carey before she even had her first video come out. Like a lot of money in recording and development. Part of it was because Tommy Mottola, who was the head of Sony at the time, was interested in Mariah personally and professionally. But for her debut video to be something so incredibly simple, it almost feels like they weren't sure if this was going to work.
Interesting. I thought it was enough. I thought it was simple but elegant and it worked. And I thought that like it really showed, I thought the first two videos really showed that Mariah Carey just is star power because they're both pretty simple.
Yeah.
And it's
How
just
about you,
a
Alex?
performance.
I think the song itself is a really great showcase of what she was capable of and what type of vocals she was going to continue giving us and expanding on in her career. The music video, it is very generic. It is very 90s. And I think maybe they were playing it safe with that one because she is a new artist. It's just debuting and they didn't know if it was going to be like a huge hit, even if people thought she had amazing talent. So I think for the first few music videos, they definitely played it safe. So they weren't like throwing lots of amounts of money into it in case it flopped, which it didn't. So I think I agree that the music video was definitely a little bland, but the song itself, it still stands.
Yeah, the song was really good.
Yes, and I also want to point this out for anybody who is beautiful and young and thin. If you would like fashion inspo, practically every look in every Mariah video is fashion inspo. Just being in this little black dress with this big curly hair is such a look. It's such a look. And I don't know if you tell the Inspiration Day viewers, but big curly hair, oh my gosh. When Mariah came out with that hair, I knew so many bitches in thrift store wigs doing the exact same thing. It's timeless. Still to this day.
Oh man, we should have planned better. We all could have had wigs.
There are some wig moments in Mariah's history that are more than legendary. There was, moving ahead in time, Mariah did the VH1 Divas concert. I will send a clip to you after we finish filming, but the wig she had on for that concert, I don't know how her neck supported it.
That makes sense. Drag Race has parodied Divas Live, and I didn't realize they were parodying a thing. I thought they were just making something up. But
No, it's a thing. And I mean, it was like this tall and this far back and down to her kneecaps practically. Like it was a look.
Okay.
And in a nude illusion slip dress. Like it was a whole
look, yeah.
Yeah.
I can't believe they did a night of 1,000 J-Los on Drag Race, but skipped Mariah.
I think it's because Mariah has kept consistent looks over the years. Like Mariah loves a column or a slip dress. That's her thing.
That's true.
And so there's not enough kind of like variety of looks. Whereas J-Lo wore a little bit of everything when she was gaining popularity.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what about the next song? I feel like
the next song is a really fun song. It's sad, called Love Takes Time. But but I like this song.
I like the song
I like
a
it
lot.
too.
I like the song a lot. I love her performance in the video a lot. It's just a nice black and white, her on a beach, looking nice, singing a nice song.
Yeah.
It was simple. It was really effective. I liked it a lot.
Definitely. I feel like this video also, while it's very simple, it definitely gives the viewers and listeners a chance to really let the song take center stage instead of like a music video being all crazy and wild. And I really liked it. And I think the vocals on this song were really great. And I love a good 90s ballad. So I really liked it.
Yeah.
Yes, you do. This is a David Foster fan.
What?
He's a David Foster fan.
What's that mean?
That's like those Celine Dion ballads.
Oh, does he write them?
A lot of them.
He produces a lot of them, yeah.
Okay. Did he produce this one?
No, actually, a lot of Mariah's early stuff is produced with a guy named Darren Aronofsky, I think. But he's been her
movie director?
No. I'm saying his last name wrong, but he, the guy that she's been collaborating with, I think he's Brazilian maybe, but they've been collaborating together for like over 20 years.
Oh, he's still writing for her.
Yeah, and he produces a lot of her sound, but they've been longtime collaborators.
Yeah, and just something in general from her. She does a lot of her songwriting and production credits.
That's good.
Yeah, so every song that you hear that's not a cover, she writes on it, either producing or lyrics. So she's an all-around artist.
Okay, that's good to know.
I like Love Takes Time. I think that Mariah Carey does a really good job of writing melancholy love ballads. I think that that's like her calling card. And I enjoy this song because it foreshadows a lot of the other kind of sad songwriting she does that I really relate to a lot. So I really like this one. All right. The next song on here is Someday. And the reason I put the live version of Someday on here is because that was what is on the actual #1 to Infinity album, which I don't know if I said it in the beginning, but we're going through the track list of one of Mariah Carey's greatest hits albums called #1 to Infinity. This album actually is the track list of a Vegas residency that Mariah had. So Mariah had a Vegas residency at, I think, Caesar's Palace. And the name of the residency was called 1 to Infinity. And these were the only songs that she was performing at the residency.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's the reason why we're going with this list. Every single song on this list, except for the last two that we are going to talk about, are #1 Billboard hits. And not like #1 R&B, like #1 on the Billboard Hot 100.
Oh, wow. All of these?
Yes.
Every single one.
So I thought this was, when we were planning this, I suggested this one because she has other greatest hits albums, but none of them were released before, none of them were released after like the early 2000s, late 90s. So this one definitely gave us more than just her 90s catalog.
Yeah, and this list includes every #1 she's ever had except for one, which is All I Want for Christmas. It was her latest #1, even though it was released in the 90s. But Billboard actually changed its chart counting to make it to where older songs could come back on the charts. And through that revival, she was able to go #1. I want to say it was Christmas of 2019 was the first time I think it went to #1. And this compilation came out in 2015.
Oh, okay. So this was before Caution then.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And that was her last like full studio album, I think, right?
Caution, yeah, that was her last full studio album.
Was it good? Has Mariah lost her touch as Mariah Carey observers?
It was different, I feel like artists, they kind of they're clean, they play it clean a little bit, and then after a certain period they just have that point where they're just dropping like a lot of F words and stuff. That was definitely what I felt like with the Caution album. It was like, I'm gonna swear a lot more on these songs, and there's some good songs, there's some not great songs. It's okay. It doesn't measure up to anything that she's released before though.
Okay.
All right, so Someday, the version that's on our list is the MTV Unplugged version, and it's not my favorite rendition of this song. I actually prefer the one that's on the album. However, part of the reason why Mariah had to do an MTV Unplugged is because people did not think she actually sang her songs. Because Mariah was so pretty and she was hitting these whistle notes, and people were like, there's no way a girl who looks like a model could be sounding like this. This is a lie.
Imagine being so good at singing, people don't believe it.
I know.
Yeah.
Good for her.
I forgot about this song until we were preparing for this video. It is not one of my favorites, but I thought the live performance version for the MTV Unplugged, it was okay. It was nice. It was decent. It wasn't my favorite though either.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was like the first two songs were really sad, and this one would just had like a bit more pep. I like the chorus in the background, so I thought that was really nice.
My favorite is the bridge to this song, because I used to go to school dances and hear this song. And a lot of me and my friends would gather around and be like, oh, baby, how could you ever believe that another could replace me, the one and only? Because we didn't have female rappers. So this was
Right.
the closest we got. But yeah, definitely a memory.
So when did Missy Elliott get in the game then?
The 2000s.
Oh, why did I think she was
Late 90s.
Okay.
Yeah. So like
very late.
the only female rappers that we had really were like Salt and Pepper and Queen Latifah, and like really super masculine kind of female rappers.
Okay.
Yeah, like the idea of like a sexy female vixen rapper wasn't really a thing at the time, and they definitely weren't like mainstream pop culture. Queen Latifah, Salt and Pepper, more it was the Black community that listened to them. And so somebody like a Missy Elliott was notable because everyone listened to Missy.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's do a Missy
All right.
episode.
Next is one of my favorites. I Don't Want to Cry.
I loved this video. I thought the lighting was good. I love the colors. I liked a lot of the cinematography. I really enjoyed this video.
I thought the video was good.
I thought the video was really pretty. I thought she looked great. Whoever picked out her costuming and did her hair, like they made her look great. And when she was crying, like just, a little artful tear. I thought that was great. But no, I love the song. Anytime Mariah employs a Spanish guitar into any of her songs, automatically I'm like, yes, we're about to cry today. So, so yes, definitely 8-year-old me was staring out the window of her bedroom singing to a relationship she's never had.
Oh man, you gotta have those main character moments in life.
Of course. The soundtrack of our made-up dramatics.
Oh, absolutely.
I really liked the song though. It was very nice.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right, next we're getting upbeat again with Emotions.
This is my favorite song so far. It's one of the few ones that I had heard before doing this because I first heard it through a Vine. If anyone knows, I shared it in our group chat. There's a very famous Vine of a lawnmower, and it's of her high note, and it's the lawnmower is like soaring through the sky. And each time her note gets higher, that lawnmower just goes up and up and up. It's a great Vine, and I knew that Vine. And then, okay, so I talk about Drag Race a lot, but they've lip synced to Mariah Carey, and honestly, it's how I know a lot of like older songs because, well, they do them on Drag Race. And so season All Stars 4, episode 1, not Monet, Trinity the Tuck and Monique Hart lip sync for their legacy to Emotions. And it was the first time I had heard that song in almost full. Because I remember hearing the high note at the end being like, oh, that was Mariah Carey? I had no idea.
There was like another meme for this song when it gets to that high note in like the bridge, where it's like, don't hit the note, and then it's just like screaming. I remember that one.
Oh, that's a good one. The high note of this is like the American equivalent to I use high note in Good Day. That's what I think of.
Oh, absolutely. But also like on boss level.
Oh yeah, it's like IU, I mean, it was cute, but like this.
Yeah, because like somebody could.
I'd love to see those produce girls audition with this song.
Yeah.
Oh, the disaster we would get.
Definitely a very fun song and really amazing vocals. I think the vocals on this one were the most impressive out of the album so far.
Yeah, like top to bottom, this is like, I think by far the best song so far. It's just such a good, it just has such a good energy to it. I love the whole vibe of like, oh, you just make me feel so good. Like, oh, it's so nice.
And it's insane that the last 4 songs we talked about, all of the songs we talked about, I believe, were all on her debut. Well, all on her debut album except for Emotions.
Yeah, that was all the debut album.
That's quite a debut.
Yes.
4 number ones for a debut album?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay.
She was a hit immediately.
Wow. Awesome. That's pretty surprising.
Okay, so now we're to I'll Be There, which was from MTV Unplugged. And this is a cover of a Jackson 5 song. And the original is very, very cute with little bitty Michael. It's adorable.
Mm-hmm. I had heard this song before, but I think it was the Jackson 5 version. So when it started, I was like, I know this, but I don't think this is the one version I've heard. So good to know.
Yeah.
I really like this song, the original version and her version for the MTV album. Really great. And I think she did a really great job doing the cover and with the feature.
Mm-hmm.
Poor Trey Lorenz. This is the highlight of his entire musical career. Nothing he did ever even matched similarly to this at all. I think he spent the rest of his career being Mariah Carey's backup singer.
I mean, I'm sure he got paid nicely for it. At least I hope so.
Absolutely. Also, Alex, I'm disappointed. I am surprised you didn't point out the fact that when you watch MTV Unplugged, there is, before she was famous, Kelly Price singing in the background.
Oh my gosh. So I always forget that Kelly Price was one of her background singers. Like she's talked about it, but I always forget. Because I'm not a huge listener of Kelly Price, though that was also part of it.
Yeah, Kelly Price, I think a lot of younger people don't really know her for her singing. They mostly know her for her reality TV stints.
And the Catfish.
Yes. Yes, there is a famous episode of Catfish.
You should have never called me a fat ass Kelly Price. And it's like, what voice are you using? The Tony voice.
I'm telling you, Mariah Carey hits every part of pop culture for the last 30 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I like this cover. I think it's a really pretty cover. I like that they kind of gospeled it up a little bit. The original, of course, is a classic, but I think that the way that she approached it, she didn't change it completely, but she definitely made it her own. And I can see why a lot of people wouldn't remember that this was originally a Jackson 5 song.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she owned it.
Yeah,
definitely.
The next song is Dream Lover. And this was, I had to listen to this song again because I just didn't like the video and that distracted me from enjoying the song. But
you don't like people rolling in the grass?
No, Girl in the Park isn't like an aesthetic that I love. And that's kind of just what it was. It was like people at the park. And I'm like, all right.
Yeah, the video was different. the song I think is very sweet,
Mhm.
but it's not a song that really does much for me. It's nice to listen to when it comes on. In me listening to Mariah Carey, I wouldn't go out of my way to say, oh, I want to listen to Dream Lover. It's not one of those songs, but it's not a skip if it comes on randomly.
Have there been any songs so far that you do go out of your way to listen to?
Emotions and definitely the I'll Be There. Those ones
Okay.
mainly.
Is
Love Take
this
Time.
on the Emotions album?
This is off of her third album, Music Box.
Okay.
I think that she looks great in the Dream Lover video. Like, I think that kind of like pixie or ponytails with the tied up shirt and the jean shorts. I think that's a classic look. One thing, I don't know if you guys have noticed, Mariah Carey in these videos, this was during the time that she was actively dating or married to Tommy Mottola. She never has a male interaction. Like, if you watch, she never kisses a guy, hugs a guy, touches a guy. There's always a guy who, like, they kind of focus on, like, oh, she might have a crush on that guy, but they never interact.
Because of him.
And yeah, and then later on, Mariah did do an autobiography. I think it came out last year. And she talks about how, like, her marriage to Tommy Mottola was really controlling, and he basically, like, isolated her from everything and everyone.
Ooh.
Yeah.
He's sleazy.
Yeah. And so when we get to Honey, it's the first video where you see her actually touch a love interest, and that's because that was right after her divorce.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did she also leave his record label then?
Yes.
Ooh, interesting.
Or
Okay.
I think maybe Honey was the last album she did for his record label before she left.
One of the two, because I remember after she leaves and everything, that's like when it gets real crazy in her personal life.
Yeah, I think that was the last album before she left, because I want to say Glitter was the first album she did after she left. And when we get there, we'll talk about it, but Mariah Carey is a brilliant businesswoman sometimes.
Oh yeah, because Glitter was the movie she did, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Isn't it like supposed to be horrible?
It's just not great.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah. So
All
the
right.
next song is off of the Music Box album as well, called Hero. It's
The
like,
first dud.
oh, you guys didn't like the song? I like it. I feel like all artists have at least one or two like motivational, uplifting power ballads, and this is one of hers. I enjoyed the song.
I was looking at the comments of the YouTube video, and everyone in the comments is like, this song pulled me out of an abusive relationship. This song saved me from death. And I'm like, I am really glad you guys have this, but audibly, no.
I hate the song. She sings beautifully on it. This is a inspirational song. You kind of, if you listen to the lyrics of the first verse, it kind of has a queer undertone. However, I heard this song at least 6 times a day for almost a year. And I can't get over that trauma. And so I just can't look at this song as anything other than torture porn.
Damn, so a song about healing trauma has only caused you more trauma. No good deed goes unpunished, everyone.
There are 2 songs on this list that do that for me. This is one of them.
Oh,
and
no.
I think Alex knows what the other one is.
Oh, I'm excited to get to there.
I may have a few guesses. We'll see if I'm right later.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But I guess because me and Mason, we weren't alive when Mariah Carey debuted, so that's why we didn't hear these earlier songs on the radio, in the stores, or wherever 24/7 when they were being released like Sam did.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. I want to say that this song was released either during the Gulf War or like after the end of the Gulf War, somewhere in that time, like between the Gulf War and 9/11, somewhere in that span. Every military place would have this song playing. Every time it was like Veterans Day, Memorial Day, Remember Our Troops, this song played incessantly. This song played the way Adele's Hello played. It was just every
Oh,
fucking where.
okay. I
And
get
that's,
it now.
yeah. So that's why I was just like,
Yeah.
what in hell? I hate this fucking song. This was the only
Yeah.
song I watched the video for.
Overexposure can ruin a good thing.
Oh yeah, too much exposure. This song just sounded like it should have been at the end of like a 90s Disney movie. Like this should have been at like the end of Lion King or something. That's how this song felt to me.
Yeah. I could see that.
Mm-hmm. So the next song has a great version and a not great version that we were shared with.
Oh, should I sing the great version? Me and Mariah go back like babies and pacifiers. Old dirty dog, no liar. Kicking fancy like fire.
I could not believe that existed when you sent it this morning, because Fantasy is probably, might be my favorite song on this list. And I love the first version, the just Mariah version, and then you brought in men. You brought in men to my life, and I just did not appreciate that.
So, Daydream Album and onwards. This is where my true love for Mariah Carey starts. The first 3 albums, they're okay, but they wouldn't ever be one of my favorites. This one is one of my favorite Mariah Carey albums. Fantasy is definitely one of my favorite title singles. I keep wanting to say title tracks over in K-pop. Like title song, the B-side. Well, B-side is general, but I keep wanting to say title song, but I really love Fantasy. And one thing you'll notice with her remixes, she always switches up. It's not like a remix with like an added on feature on the same instrumental. She always changes it. So that is one thing that she's like really known for when it comes to the remixes. And Old Dirty Bastard, he is a eccentric character. So I understand his sound is not for everybody, but it is still very important because she featured like this rapper on like a very pop sounding song.
So did she start the trend of like pop girls featuring rappers on their songs?
Yeah.
Oh wow, okay. Is that why Fantasy is so important?
Yeah, because like prior to that, you would not have someone who had the kind of #1 star power as Mariah Carey featuring a rapper on their song. Now, granted, in the Black community, rappers and R&B singers, they talk to each other all the time. They always did stuff together. But Mariah doing something like this was a signal to mainstream America that rap is mainstream. And you're going to hear more of this on the radio. It's not like some big, offensive, scary thing.
I feel bad that this was the song that did it though, because I just really don't enjoy his feature.
I like his feature.
He's not for everybody.
Old Dirty Bastard is like wine. Some people drink wine, some people don't. It's an acquired taste.
Okay.
And Old Dirty Bastard, in a lot of ways, he is the precursor for the style of rap you hear now. That kind of like what they call mumble rapping and just, a lot of ad-libs and stuff like that. It's definitely ODB was kind of the progenitor of that style of rap music. So there's a lot of value to be added there. But just the fact that she very clearly was saying, rap is the mainstream, get into it. Also, we would be remiss if we didn't talk about the fact that Big Lotto's song, Big Dick Energy, takes a sample from this song.
Okay.
Yes.
So Mariah inspires all the girls and the boys.
Yes. And the music video, I love the music video. And it combined one of my favorite songs with one of the things that terrifies me the most. I cannot stand going on roller coasters, but after watching the video and continuing to watch the video, I want to have my Mariah Carey moment on the roller coaster.
I am surprised you don't like roller coasters. You give me the vibe of that person that would just get on the scariest roller coaster and walk off like, it's fine.
I had a very traumatizing experience. So the first time I went to an amusement park with my mom, I was about 5. And then I saw the first ride. It was like one of those flume rides. So you go up and it goes a little and then it shoots you down in the water. I saw the top part where they were going around slowly, and I was like, I want to go on that one. I didn't know how you were supposed to get down. So once we shot down, it scared me, and that basically scarred me from majority of roller coasters for my whole life.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I'm just imagining 5-year-old Alex like being so little and cute and just like, Mom!
Yeah, and it didn't help that afterwards my mom was like, well, let's not be too scared. So she took me on like the little kid roller coaster, but that one was still like way too much for me at the time. I've grown accustomed to some roller coasters, but anything humongous with a bunch of loops, I'm like, mm-mm.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm like my level of roller coaster is Disneyland, which is like low, very low.
Yeah.
Like when I go to California Adventure with friends, there's like this really big, the Incredicoaster, the Incredibles roller coaster. It's too much for me. It's too big of a drop.
Yeah.
But the Cars ride's cute, you know, in the car.
All right, so the next song, if you haven't already guessed, is My Other Traumatic Moment with Mariah Carey. One Sweet Day.
Oh my God, I thought you were about to say Always Be My Baby. And I was like, that sounds great. We're not, okay. This was, okay, just going forward, any song that has like a feature, I didn't like.
Oh, interesting.
I despise this song. And I love, what's crazy is I love Mariah. I love Boys to Men. You would think them being together would be a match made in heaven. But the way this song was played on the radio, it was #1 for like, I want to say 2 months when it came out. It was that massive, and I just can't.
It definitely set a lot of records, because it was like the longest song at #1 for quite a bit of time before like Old Town Road, I think. So definitely, if we had been alive in the 1994s and stuff like Sam, we would have heard that song everywhere. We probably would have gotten tired of it too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think that both groups though do a great job with the song. I think the gentlemen from Boys to Men, their kind of deeper voices sound really good against her voice in terms of like texture and tone. But it's a lot of emotional weight on this one. It definitely is one of those songs that's meant to be played at people's funerals as you're wearing their airbrushed face on your t-shirt. And I don't need that kind of heaviness in my life.
Yeah.
You go to funerals wearing an airbrushed t-shirt of the person's face?
In certain circles, yes.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Inner city Black funeral culture is something I'm not prepared to completely discuss today, but I will say that in certain circles, when someone dies a tragic young death, people will show up to the funeral wearing a t-shirt with like either that person's name and like RIP, Lil Juicy, or they'll have the person's face airbrushed on the shirt. And that will be something that the family and the close friends will wear to the funeral instead of like suits and dresses.
Right. Nice.
Yeah. All right. Next is a redeemer. Always Be My Baby.
So good. So good.
So good they made a movie out of it.
It's a good movie.
Yeah. So this video is Mariah Carey at her most beautiful. Like, I will say that, and you could fight me later on because she does have great moments, but like this moment with her in the denim shirt with the denim pants on the tire swing above the lake at nighttime at the summer camp is fantasy Mariah Carey. Like, she'll never have another moment like this. And I was obsessed with this look to the point that at one point in my life, I knew what brand of jeans she was wearing. And I went to a clothing store because I knew they carried that brand. And I walked in and said, "Do you have the Mariah Carey jeans?" Granted, I was like 200 pounds at the time, so I was never going to squeeze my fat ass into it. But I just wanted to hold them in my hand because I was so obsessed with this look And
Mhm.
this video, the lighting is gorgeous. It has a bunch of teenagers who like Mariah has nothing to do with. They just happen to be like in the same woods,
Mm.
and they're like having romance and fun and kissing underwater. Meanwhile, she's just like this glorious wood nymph having fun and spreading the essence of true love everywhere. This song sounds like first love. Like literally,
Yeah.
this song sounds like the first person you ever kissed and the person that you'll always think of when people ask you the question, who was your first love?
Yeah.
Definitely. That moonlight tire swing scene is so gorgeous, and the summer camp vibes. It made me want to go to summer camp too. I
Mhm.
never went, but I would like to go just for the experience. So very enjoyable music video, and the song is so sweet and one of my favorites.
Sorry, it's early.
They should offer adult summer camp. I would do a weekend adult summer camp. Like it would have to be like air conditioned adult summer camp because I'm not trying to actually rough it. But like, just a day filled with like organized fun and games and then like nighttime s'more roasting. I could do that for a week.
That would
I
be
think we might
cute.
have that. There was when I went to the movie theater back in like September, October, I was going to the movie theater a lot more, but now I don't because Omicron. But the movie theater near me, there was an ad each time I went for Jew Camp. And it was mostly adults. So if they have Jew Camp, they have other adult camps for sure.
I've never been offered a chance to go to an adult camp that catered to me, but I would go. Like, I really would be one of those people like, oh, we're doing recreational swimming in an hour. Let me go get my bag.
Come to LA. We can go to, I'll bring you to Jew Camp.
Yeah. And then I'll wear some wig and be like, yes, totally me. Can't you tell? But yeah, it's just, this is wonderful. Mason, what did you think of the song and video?
Yeah, I mean, I think you guys hit the nail on the head. It's like instantly iconic imagery. It's very simple but very effective in both song and video, and she pulls it off really well. And it's a classic for a reason, for sure.
Oh, right. Oh, shit. I almost played the song. Sorry about that. All right. So the next video is Honey, which is the song / album that came out after her divorce from Tommy Mottola. And you can tell this is absolutely one of those, I bet you miss me now that everyone knows how fine I am. All this you threw away. I love it.
This one is the song that I first heard with my dad on the Sirius radio. So elementary school, and maybe middle school, I don't remember, either or. I was driving home with him from Korean school in Sacramento, so it's like almost 2 hours away from where I live, and he had a Sirius radio back in the day, and I was scrolling through the different stations, and that piano motif, that dun, 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 it caught me. So we had to listen to it. And that was the first experience I had of hearing a Mariah Carey song. So this one is very special to me.
And now you're a stan for life.
I am.
Which, is this from an album that you've come to really enjoy?
Yeah. So this is off of the Butterfly album, and very important album in her career. I really enjoy the album. It's not my favorite, but it is up there with the favorites. This is definitely her going into that more R&B side.
Because you have to understand, like Tommy Mottola, who was her husband and also the head of her record label in Balance of Power, he was really trying to hit the most mainstream audience ever. But Mariah did not come from that kind of mainstream world. She had a mother who was white and a father who was Afro-Latino, and she didn't grow up with money. She actually grew up kind of poor. And so she went to inner city high schools and was a lot more accustomed to listening to rap and R&B because that's what played in her environment. So once she got to a certain level of popularity, she really wanted to incorporate more of kind of an urban sound into what she was doing. But her husband was like, it's these ballads that sell. These are the ones that chart #1. You need to go where the money resides. And it was finally, once she was free of him, both personally and somewhat professionally, that she's like, I'm going to do the stuff that I always wanted to do. This is the style of music that I had envisioned for my career once I got on. And so that's why you see a lot more kind of R&B rap inspired sounds in her music moving forward, because she was no longer kind of tied to his idea of her being America's sweetheart.
Yeah, you can definitely see in the music video a shift visually, because in the other ones you might see a few peeps of skin here or there, the midriff maybe, but this one, this was definitely her being more sexual, like the bikini top moments and stuff. So definitely she was more free in this album and the ones that came afterwards.
Right. Okay.
Good video.
And shout out to Jade, because if I remember correctly, she said she really likes the remix of the song. It's like one of her favorite remixes, the Bad Boy remix.
Yes.
I'll check it out.
It's a lot of men though, so if you don't like the men on the songs,
it's been not great.
All of the men that were in the airplane are really a part of the remix.
Okay.
Yeah, including J-Lo's ex-husband. Not ex-husband, but ex-boyfriend, Puffy.
Puffy?
Yeah. Well, he goes by, does he go by Puff now? Or no, Brother Love,
Diddy?
I think is what his new name is.
Diddy?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Puff Daddy, Puff Diddy, Diddy.
Oh, okay.
Love. Yeah, he was J-Lo's boyfriend when she wore that iconic Versace dress the first time.
Okay.
And they were dating, and then they were in a club and a shooting broke out, and they broke up because she was like, you're not fixing to get me tied up in some jail shit. I'm gone now. And that ties back into Mariah Carey, because when Mariah Carey broke up with Tommy Mottola wanted to ruin her life. And so there was a sample of a song that she wanted to use in a song for her. Like, it was a sample piece. And Tommy Mottola literally bought the rights to use that sample, and then gave that sample to J-Lo and had J-Lo record a song with that sample just to keep Mariah from being able to do it. Like, Tommy Mottola was an asshole.
Okay, is that why there's that famous Mariah Carey quote where someone asked, what do you think about J-Lo? And she says, don't know her, or something like that? Okay.
Yeah, so the degrees of separation is funny, because in the video for Honey, she's sitting on Diddy's lap, and I think around that time is when he started dating J-Lo. I think maybe right after that time. And so, yeah, there's the connection.
Oh, that's really fascinating.
Mariah Carey, like, if you know how people play like 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon, you could play that with Mariah Carey in the music industry all day.
I'm trying to do it. 6 Degrees of Separation, Mariah Carey and Big Bang.
Okay, I feel like I can make this happen. It's going to be hard to get out of Korea. That's the first thing. Okay, Mariah Carey, Big Bang did a song with Seven at some point. Seven did a song with Little Kim.
And who's friends with Da Brat. And Da Brat is friends with Missy as with Mariah.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's been a Little Kim and Mariah Carey song, but Da Brat and Mariah have done songs, remixes. Here we go. Somehow, some way.
Okay.
Yeah. So even as far reaching his career, we're able to pull that in. Yeah.
That's cool.
All right. Next is another Latin love song made for the sad bitches, My All.
I love the video, is nice. I love a good black and white video. Who doesn't?
Yeah. I like the Latin flair to the song with the guitars and the castanets. And I found a greater appreciation for that song after I used Modern Times album, because you know there's a lot of acoustic guitar elements in that album. So when I like that made me like really start listening to other songs where the guitar was prevalent. So that really made me enjoy the song a lot more after I was like, ooh, this newfound appreciation for the guitar. I really like it.
This is another one of those songs that you're staring out of a window pretending like you're the main character of some period drama.
You're on the bus, it's drizzling outside, head on the window.
Yeah, pretty much. And also like she goes crazy in the bridge with like the ad libs. And so it's really made for like this number and this number. I imagine like this is an excellent lip syncing song because I've lip synced to it many times in my life.
Yeah, it's a good shower song too.
Oh, absolutely. But she looks great in this. The video is very plain though. It's like it's a lighthouse and she's wet.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
It's simple but effective. I feel like that's her visual styling, simple but effective.
Yes, that was her visual styling, I would say up until maybe the glitter era.
When is the glitter era? Have we passed it yet?
We haven't gotten to it yet. We have one more album before that.
Okay.
Yeah. So I guess we should go to the next song where there's way more to talk about when it comes to the video. So far, the videos, we have not had a lot to talk about, but the next song, an actual storyline.
So much was happening.
Right.
When she started beefing with other Mariah Carey in the bathroom, I did not see that coming. They just started fighting.
So Alex, what is the song we're talking about?
So we're talking about Heartbreaker off of the Rainbow album. It's very fun. It's very catchy. It was definitely like a revisitation of like a fantasy or a dream lover where it's like very kind of poppy and fun. We're catchy. We're that. I really love the chorus of the song. It's one of my favorite choruses because it's just so catchy and it always gets stuck in my head.
Yeah, I like this one. This was the one with the man that I liked. Jay-Z was good.
Yay!
Jay-Z is good. The remix with Debrat and Missy Elliott is another great remix. They kind of like sexified the song up.
Okay, when you said Missy Elliott, it brought me to the 6 Degrees of Separation because it's only a 3 degree from
Missy Elliott, Big Bang.
Because G-Dragon has that song with Missy Elliott.
That's right.
Wow. Anyways.
So see, Mason won. He got the closest connection.
Yeah.
I thought the video was fun. I think I've been to this movie theater. I think it's a theater in Westwood. So I was like, wait, I've been here before.
I enjoyed this video, but I have to say, Mariah doesn't dance for a reason. And watching her dance in this video, I was like, oh, so this is where Sweetie got it from. Because the dancing is painful. Painful.
I mean, she tried. The only thing that I didn't understand was like, she really did this for that pastry puff white boy. I mean, she could do better. Like, he was so average.
Yeah, but I guess that made her like not, I guess it was good that he was average because it was like, this guy absolutely has no excuse to cheat on Mariah. Like, how dare he?
Yeah.
Also, like, why did Bad Mariah just start swinging in the bathroom? Because I hadn't watched this video in quite a while. So when Good Mariah comes into the bathroom and taps Bad Mariah on the shoulder, you could tell that she's not trying to fight. She's like, hey, you might not know, but you're at the movie theater with my man. Bad Mariah turns around and just gets to swinging. And I'm like, girl, why?
Because she's bad.
Side chicks are always hostile. They're always hostile. It's always blame the girl first, not the man.
Yeah, and Mariah looked like she wasn't even going to blame the girl first. She's just like, you know, maybe you don't know this, but you're in the theater with my man. But instead, she's just like, yum!
Yeah.
Like, okay. And then poor me sitting on the toilet, just trying to take a shit in a public place.
Too bad cell phones weren't much of a thing. She could have recorded.
Oh yeah.
World star.
And then we don't know what happens to Bad Mariah because we assume that they kept fighting in the bathroom, but she does not leave the bathroom.
Drowned her in the toilet.
Oh, maybe.
Oh, there was also animation in it, which I hated. It was not, I didn't like the designs at all. I thought they were super ugly.
That was a character design that Mariah used for a lot of stuff for a period of time with like her merch and things that she was doing. That like drawing of her with like the one eye covered, that was a thing for her, which is weird because looking at these videos, there's not a lot of scenes of her with one eye covered. So I'm not sure why that became the style for the animated Mariah.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just thought that was an ugly design. What's with music videos and having like ugly animation? I feel like this is a thing that I notice. Like the Madonna video, where she's in that cab and it just gets animated all of a sudden and it's like not great animation.
Yeah, the music video.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't think that animation was so ugly, but also I am just a regular person. I don't work in the industry. I'm not looking at
they probably don't pay a lot for that animation part because it's in a like 4-minute something music video. They're not gonna be like, Pixar, hey, animate this for me real quick or something. You know, it was probably some like cheap budget cut animation.
Yeah, they went on Fiverr. They were like, look at the $10 animation.
They did those like bootleg Disney movies.
Yeah. Oh my God, the bootleg ones? Never mind. This anecdote doesn't work then.
All right. So the next song is Thank God I Found You featuring Joe and 98 Degrees. Okay, I just want to say this now. We have talked about this. We've referenced this over and over, but I want to say this again. Mariah Carey's remix game is unmatched. She has one of the strongest remix games ever. And there is a remix to Thank God I Found You that uses the musical motif of Keith Sweat's Make It Last Forever. A far better version of this song. Far better.
Crazy. She apparently has good remixes because of the examples, it's not working out so far.
You've only heard one remix so far, just the ODB remix.
And the fantasy remix.
That is the fantasy remix.
Oh.
Yeah, when we're not filming, definitely Alex can give you a couple of references for remixes, but the remix to Thank God I Found You is totally different. It's an R&B like Quiet Storm song.
Okay.
On the remix. It does not sound anything similar. And 98 Degrees is not even on the remix. It's just her and Joe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This song is the original. The whole Rainbow album in general is not amazing. It's not a great body of work. I don't remember most of the songs off the top of my head, so I didn't really enjoy this song. Good vocals, but boring song to me.
Playing our game of 6 Degrees of Mariah Carey, 98 Degrees is in this video. Nick Lachey used to be married to Jessica Simpson. There is another set of connections.
Oh, this is so random, but you brought up Jessica Simpson. I have been really listening to her With You song a lot recently.
I love this.
Why Jessica Simpson?
I don't know. I think because one of the YouTubers I watched, they're doing like a album reaction series to her discography. And I was like, okay, I mean, cute, but it then made me listen to some of her stuff and some of her older albums, and I liked the With You song. It's very cheesy white girl pop, but it's nice.
Okay.
I kind of want to read Jessica Simpson's book because I heard she like really spills the tea in her book. But one of the things that I've always found fascinating about Jessica Simpson is that so many times in her career, she has been like close to greatness and then it just kind of like moved away from her. Like Jessica Simpson auditioned for the Mickey Mouse Club the same season as Britney and Justin and Christina Aguilera, and actually got callbacks for it. And she tells a story in her book about how she met Justin Timberlake and Ryan Gosling at the auditions for the Mickey Mouse Club, and that both of them had been like really nice to her because they thought that she was going to make it in, and then she didn't, and she kind of lost track with them. And then later on, after she got famous and her marriage to Nick Lachey broke up, she met Justin Timberlake again, and they slept together, you know, like grown-ups do. And he's like, I have to call Ryan. And she's like, why? And he's like, because we had a bet back in like 19 whatever that I was gonna nail you, and I totally did. Because Justin Timberlake is the fucking worst.
You were the stan, not me. You were the stan, not me.
I am. Like, if we do a deep dive on Justin Timberlake, I have to tell you now, I'd be breaking my own heart. I'm not afraid to admit it. I'd be breaking my own heart. But yeah, like, apparently they had a bet that, like, one of them was going to get the chance to date her once they got on the Mickey Mouse Club, but then she didn't get in. So, like, that didn't really go anywhere. But this fucking asshole, 15 years later, is like, I remember that bet, and I totally won.
Ew.
Yeah. Disgusting. Oh, that reminds me, I had sent a clip to the group chat. For those of you who aren't a part of our group chat, I'm going to explain this clip. So I want to say about 2 or 3 years ago, there was a meme that was going around of this Mexican soap opera where it's from a Mexican telenovela called Maria La del Barrio. And the clip is of this girl sitting in a wheelchair, and a boy comes in and is like, I want to marry you. But then his mom busts in the room and just goes wild, throws the girl out the wheelchair, beats up the maid, stabs her own son with a pair of scissors, threatens to sue and kill everybody in the room. Well, there's a blip in that clip where it all of a sudden goes to like a whole other household where this woman's like, and I was like, what's wrong? I don't know. That lady is Tommy Mottola's current wife. Her name is Talia, and she was like a huge star in Mexican soap operas. And so...
Oh, so I looked it up. And the reason she gasped is because her son got stabbed. The woman that went on a rampage was not that boy's mother. She was just the villain of the show. And Maria de la Barrio, with the show title, that was Maria. Character.
Oh, they have a great showdown. Like the end of the series, they're like in a burning house fighting each other.
Okay.
It's a great show. Telenovelas are like K-dramas. They bring the action and they stop and finish. Like they don't go multiple seasons.
I don't know if you remember this, Sam, but when Sistar disbanded, someone made a thread with screenshots of this, or no, it wasn't a thread. They just added different captions to this, and it was like, okay, the star ones were the angry lady, WJSN was the girl in the chair, Monsta X was the boyfriend, and then like at one point some guy runs in, and they're like, get out, save yourself now, and then he runs out, and that was like boyfriend, because I think they were still on Starship at the time. Do you remember this?
I do remember this, because all Starship's fault.
Oh yeah, people were pissed.
So bringing it back to K-pop. But yeah, I wanted to put that little kind of a thing on there that, again, Mariah Carey touches all pop culture because her ex-husband's wife is in this super viral meme clip.
Wow.
All right. So next, we are doing probably her biggest hit of the later part of her career, We Belong Together.
Yes.
Fine
So
Roberts.
history timeline real quick. After the Rainbow album, we had some flops. The Glitter soundtrack, the Glitter movie, a flop, even though I guess it has a little cult following nowadays from some of her fans. And then after that, she released another album called Charm Bracelet, another kind of flop. So the Emancipation of Mimi was like the grand return. Like, uh-oh, is her star power fading out? But she was like, no, 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 no. I'm back with this album, with this song. I'm gonna revamp this career and you're never gonna get rid of me. So We Belong Together.
Is this one of the Emancipation of Mimi is one I've heard of? Is that one of her like more critically acclaimed albums?
Yes, yes, it is. And also, hopping on what Alex said about the Glitter album. So when she left Sony, she had a huge record contract. Like the Glitter album, prior to it coming out, she had signed with a new record label, and they had given her like a multiple millions deal for record label because she had this history of #1 hits. And the Glitter album and movie did so bad that the record label paid her entire contract so that they could drop her. And she got all of that money before We Belong Together came out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so like Mariah is a shrewd businesswoman on top of always getting publishing for virtually everything she does. But yeah, I always have admired her for that. Also, going back in time, we were just talking about Jessica Simpson and kind of tangentially Britney Spears. You know, the way they treated Britney Spears during her kind of breakdown era was unfortunate. But Mariah, I look back on the clip where they said Mariah broke down on national television, and I'm like, compared to what we see with like male celebrities, this is not that much. Like Mariah was on TLDR and she had an ice cream cart and was handing out ice cream to everybody. And she was like, I would say maybe kind of in a manic phase. Like she was like super peppy and just kind of a little bit scatterbrained and was kind of off topic when she was talking to people. But she wasn't like snatching her hair out. She looked like she was ready for television. Her costuming was fine. She wasn't dressed in a weird way. She wasn't saying a bunch of like weird Kanye-esque conspiracy things. Yet and still, like that one appearance started a narrative that I believe was fueled by Tommy Mottola about how crazy Mariah was and how like she's lost her mind. And it's just really unfortunate that the publicity machine is so ready to like ruin a woman for a mistake like that. Yet and still, we've got Kanye West out here, a complete nut, and everything he does is media magic.
It's very weird. Like I remember it wasn't in the early 2000s, didn't wasn't Tom Cruise also acting up? Like he was jumping on Oprah's couch and doing weird stuff.
Yeah, and still had plenty of movie roles after that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So sexism reigns.
Yeah.
You do. Well, Free Britney worked, so we'll keep doing that, I guess.
Yeah. So the video, we have another story video here. Mariah Carey is about to marry fine-ass Eric Roberts, and she decides, no, I want that bald-headed gay boy. And so she runs away from her wedding to be with him.
This is a part 2. The We Belong Together music video is a part 2. It's the continuation of the It's Like That music video, but that wasn't a #1. So yeah, but We Belong Together, the song, my favorite single of hers. I love this song start to finish. I love it so much. And the Emancipation of Mimi album is tied with Daydream as my favorite album of hers.
What have we gotten to Daydream yet?
Yeah, that was
Yeah, we've already
Fantasy.
seen Daydream, yeah.
Oh, wait, sorry, what single was that?
Fantasy.
Oh, okay.
Eric Roberts was like a music video legend because at the same time he did both of the Mariah Carey videos, he also did that video for that emo band. Oh, what's the name of the fucking song?
Green Day?
No. It's one of those like super emo bands, not Panic at the Disco, but Mr. Brightsides. That's the name of the song.
Oh.
Yeah. Calling out of my head. She was calling a cab and she's losing her address. Now that video. He was
The
in that one too.
Killers.
The Killers, that's what it is. I knew the name of the song. I didn't know the name of the band because that was like literally their only hit. But yeah. I'm just saying. But yeah, Eric Roberts, brother of Julia Roberts, fine as fuck.
Oh,
I
okay.
did not know he was a brother of hers.
Yes, and he's the dad of the niece who's popular. Gosh, what is the niece's name?
Emma Roberts.
Was American. Yes, Emma Roberts. That's her dad.
Oh. I didn't even know she was a niece of Julia Roberts. Oh my gosh. Learn something new.
When you're old like me, you start to know these connections.
I knew she was her niece, but I've never seen them interact, so I always forget.
That is because Julia Roberts and Eric Roberts have a very contentious relationship. So they're not close as siblings, according to the media. And that's why Emma and Julia aren't really seen together that much. But yeah, that's her dad. And he is cute. And I would fuck the shit out of him. I don't know why Mariah left him for the gay boy from Prison Break.
I'm
just saying. He is. I forget the guy's name, but like I'm not saying that to like be homophobic. Like in real life, he actually is gay, and so that's why I'm just like, why Whitworth? His name Whitworth something. But I'm just like, why did you leave Eric Roberts for this guy? He's not even wearing dress shoes. He's wearing fucking Converse with his suit. Gross. Yuck.
That's popular in 20 now. Kind of.
Just because it's popular doesn't mean it should be a thing.
He just doesn't have like he's dead behind the eyes. There's nothing sexy about him. Meanwhile, Eric Roberts is rich. He paid for that beautiful wedding gown you're wearing, and you got this mansion that you're marrying him at. Like you're making the wrong decision, girl. But I mean, I guess that could be an allusion to her marriage to Tommy Mottola. Like, don't go for the rich guy who's old. Go for the hot young dude and just like fuck around.
Yes, but not when they look like a Eminem knockoff.
He looks like a shaved testicle.
I wasn't a fan of the love choice in that music video or in her personal life. Nick Cannon. Oh well.
Baby number 8, like Nick Cannon, you've got to seek some sort of therapy. You cannot be out here trying to repopulate the earth like this.
Snip, snip.
So after this era, she meets Nick Cannon, who became her second husband. And Nick Cannon and Mariah were married for a number of years, and then they split up. And after they split up, Nick Cannon just decided he was going to fuck every mixed race woman that moved. And all of the women that he's had children with have been like mixed race Latina looking women. And he now has a baby on the way, which will be his 8th child. And he just lost a son a month ago. Because he had a son with a lady, and the son had cancer. And he died as a baby. Like, I don't even think he had made it to like a year, or maybe he made it to just over a year. But at one point, a couple of years ago, Nick Cannon had 3 women pregnant at the same time.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Again, Mariah Carey is that 6 degrees to everything Hollywood and music.
That is such a Love and Hip Hop storyline. I think it has been a storyline on Love and Hip Hop, having multiple people pregnant at the same damn time.
Yeah, and Mariah.
Speaking of that, like time, it's not 6 degrees. wait, well, the situations is kind of similar, like Nick Cannon with the 3 people pregnant. Peter Guns, he is featured on a remix of a Mariah Carey song. I don't remember which one it is, but he was featured, and he is the one that got his two love interests at the time on the show pregnant around the same time. And he has as many kids as Nick Cannon does now. Yeah.
What's Nick Cannon even known for? Was it really just America's Got Talent?
He also is the executive producer and the person who brought The Masked Singer to America. And he's the host of The Masked Singer America.
There's like 7 seasons of The Masked Singer, and it started like a year ago.
Yeah, it started before COVID. They started The Masked Singer, but he's the one who brought The Masked Singer to America. He's the executive producer on that. He also now has a daytime talk show called The Nick Cannon Show. But yeah, Nick Cannon actually first became famous for being on a Nickelodeon show called All That. He was one of the kids on
he was on All That? Okay.
Yeah. And
I was like just before my time.
So that places Nick Cannon on Nickelodeon, which is the same channel that Ariana Grande got famous on. So again, Mariah's reach.
Yes.
We like it. But yeah, I think it's a great song. It does something really amazing, actually. When you listen to the lyrics and you listen to Mariah's singing pattern on the song, it is a very urban song. It almost, if you were to read the lyrics, it almost reads like a rap song because of like all the references and things in it, but it still has a very like mainstream pop ballad sensibility, which that's a really hard line to tread. It sounds just like a lot of her earlier ballads, Melancholy, all that stuff. But yeah, like referencing Bobby Womack and that kind of thing, that's not really typically what you'd hear in a mainstream ballad song. They wouldn't be that referential. So I really enjoy that she was able to bring those two worlds together. And I think if given the chance, she would have done more of that earlier in her career.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
What did you think of the song, Mason?
I thought it was good. I honestly, like, listening to it, I wasn't thinking like, oh, this is gonna be one we're gonna have a lot to say about. So I'm glad you guys did, because I didn't. I liked it fine. It was good.
And I think, I might be wrong, I think the dress she wears in the video is her original wedding dress to Tommy Mottola.
Ooh, that's tea. That's kind of iconic.
Right. I think you're right.
Yeah, so definitely messages. All right, so the next song on here is, to me, one of the more forgettable songs. Much like Dream Lover, it's Don't Forget About Us. I was shocked to find out that that song went #1.
I don't know what this is.
So the Emancipation of Mimi had the American version of a repackage, the Platinum Edition. This was like the lead single released for that Platinum Edition of the album. I didn't know it went #1 either. It must have went #1 for like a week or something and then faded off the chart. It's an okay song. I enjoy it. But it's definitely like a watered down, less iconic, very less iconic version of We Belong Together.
Ding, ding, ding. You are correct. The best part of that song is the part where she does like kind of the rap breakdown in the bridge. But you can't do it like me. She will never be MC. Like, that's the best part of the song.
Yeah. I just took a quick skim at the video again. And even the video is really dull and unimpressive. So I guess it's a skip.
Yeah. That would probably be my choice of the skip on this album if I had one skip. But let's move on to a far better song, Touch My Body. What a great song and video.
Yeah. So fun. So fun. So fun. This album, E = MC Squared, was the album that came out after I discovered her, and that's this was the album that came out after I became a fan. So I got the CD for my birthday. I just remember playing the CD back to back to back to back to back to back to back, singing every single word. I probably could still sing every single word off of this album and off of Emancipation of Mimi. And Touch My Body, the main single. I used to know how to play the song on the piano. I was that obsessed with it. And middle school days on the old YouTube front before copyright claimed everything and I deleted it, and also because it was embarrassing. I was in an office chair in my mom's work office and I sang the song on YouTube thinking I was some hot shit in middle school. I did that with a few songs back in the day. It was quite entertaining. Those have been erased from YouTube, but it was a moment. It was a moment. That's what I started doing YouTube.
Oh my gosh.
Middle school me just sitting in a chair, singing these types of songs. Touch My Body, My Milkshake Brings All the Boys to the Yard, Lip Gloss. It was a mess.
Wow.
I thank God every day that I was a child before the internet.
Oh gosh. Yeah, probably.
The things that I would have done if somebody gave me a camera phone and no parental guidance, I'd still be paying for them.
It's you singing Evita.
Pretty much. It would be me singing I'd Be Surprisingly Good for You over and over again. It'd be wild. But yeah, Touch My Body has a really cute video. It's the nerdy guy from 30 Rock is in this video. Don't know his name, don't really care.
Prior.
There you go. And he basically is like a computer tech who shows up at Mariah's mansion to fix some computer stuff, and he falls very deeply into Daydream Land. With a Mariah Carey that is an incel dream. And so that's really the whole video is like him living his wildest incel fantasies with Mariah Carey. Best part of the song, if there's a camera up in here, then I bet you I get this clip on YouTube. I mean, honestly, Mariah Carey was so ahead of her time because you can listen to that song now and you're like, you know what? You saw that YouTube was going to be the preeminent social contract, and so we appreciate you, legend.
And the also in that pre-chorus, the dig, so Wendy Williams, Wendy interview. So there is, and you can hear the clips on YouTube, a radio interview of Wendy Williams and Mariah Carey. It's not as iconic as the Whitney Houston interview with Wendy Williams, where she was literally going in on Wendy, but it is still a very shady, enjoyable listen, especially because Mariah Carey, Wendy Williams ran her gums, said something, and Mariah Carey basically was like, hung up the phone in the interview.
I didn't know any of those existed. Oh my gosh.
So for those people who only know Wendy Williams from her television show, Wendy Williams got famous for being a radio personality in New York. And she used to interview like all the hip hop people and all the R&B people, but she was a gossip person. She was like Perez Hilton, Page Six. She was that kind of thing, right? And so she would get into beefs with celebrities all the time because she would know information about them from the rumor mill. And she became super famous for that. And also, before she had her television show, right before she had her television show, her sidekick on the Wendy Williams show was a gentleman named Charlemagne the God, who everyone knows now from The Breakfast Club. And the multiple clips of Charlemagne either interviewing people and having the spiciest interviews or else showing his ass. And so, yeah, Wendy Williams was a huge deal before she got on television, but most people know her from her television show.
Yeah. Well, I like the song. I think it's the only song on here that I remember like vaguely from my childhood.
Aw,
Like,
that's
I remember
great.
hearing this vaguely played in stores and such, but that's about it. But I really do like the song. It's one of my favorites on this track list.
So,
Very fun.
go ahead.
Oh, but it is the second best song called Touch My Body.
Yes, the first one being Sistar. Touch
Yeah.
my body.
Yeah.
All right, so the last song on the album is a song called Infinity, because the album is literally called Number One to Infinity. I was shocked that this was a good song, because usually when people do these greatest hits song, they throw on some like stupid throwaway track. And I actually think that this song is a good song. It's an entertaining song.
Mhm.
And also, it is Mariah Carey being like the indulgent diva that we all picture her to be in our mind.
Mhm.
Definitely.
It was quality, the video. Like the cameras, that was HD.
Yeah, very handheld. It was filmed, I guess, to anticipate her Vegas residency, so there wasn't a lot of budget put towards the video, but I still think the song was good. Also, we didn't talk about this. I feel like I cannot let us leave this Mariah Carey conversation without talking about Mariah's infamous MTV Cribs episode. So Mariah Carey was a big celebrity at the time that MTV was doing a show called MTV Cribs, where they would go into celebrities' houses and the celebrity basically walk them around the house and show them like eleganza, money, how I got the bag. Mariah did one at her penthouse apartment in New York, and it is bananas. And it kind of established in people's minds who Mariah Carey was as a person outside of the music. Because at one point, she is climbing a treadmill in high heels. It is hilarious.
Oh, this sounds so iconic.
I will try to find the YouTube clips for you, but like,
Okay.
I mean, everything in that episode is just like luxury, elegance, diamonds, just, it's a fantasy. And she's like, oh, hello, MTV, welcome to my home. And she's just like decked out in just unreal things. And she's like, oh, I'm not dressed up. This is how I normally dress when I'm around the house. It's crazy.
That's amazing. I love that energy.
She has like 3 costume changes while they're touring her home. It's impossible.
Of course.
It's impossible not to talk about this. And I would feel like a bad person if I didn't mention it, because it's everything. Opulence.
People
Yes.
definitely made fun of her, but they shouldn't, because I respect this.
If
She's
you
on
got it, why
TV.
not?
Of course she's in high heels on the treadmill. Like, I get it. I understand her.
Yes, absolutely. But yeah, if you have money like Mariah and you have the costume closet that Mariah has, there would be times where I would be in a ball gown on my living room couch just for funsies.
Oh, yeah. Why not?
Just for fun. Infinity, I really like this song. It just sounds so glamorous and it makes me feel really rich in my daydreams. I really love it. I love the instrumental, like especially after she hits that high note at the end and then the instrumental comes like flooding in with the strings. I just feel so rich. I'm like, I'm really rich, bitch. And I just really love that. And you know, the New Year's Eve stuff, the live stages in her later part of the career, we already know the vocals are not what they used to be. But once she gets in the studio, she does give us those vocals.
Mhm.
Maybe not as great as they were back in the day, but she still's like, you might not hear it live, but in the studio, check out my vocals. So I really enjoyed the song.
Yes, it's giving Park Bomb tease. Can you stand there in sweatpants and do it? Yes. Can you do it mid-performance? We'll see.
I mean, and also like, let's give credit where credit is due. At the point that she released this song, she had been a music industry staple for 25 years.
Yeah.
25 years, everyone's voice ages. Everyone's. You know, just because your vocal cords get tough as you get older. So for her to have kept this amount of agility in her voice for as long as she has is super impressive, especially when compared to other people. It's no secret that when Mariah Carey first came out, Whitney Houston was considered her main competition. Like, they basically brought out what they considered a whiter version of Whitney Houston. That was kind of the ideology behind promoting Mariah Carey, which is why she had so many ballads in the beginning. And Whitney Houston, through a series of traumatic incidents and a less than supportive home life, she delved into drugs and it ruined her voice. If you see performances of Whitney towards the end of her career before she passed away, the vocals just were not there. And it is heartbreaking because you hear her rawest vocals at the very beginning of I Will Always Love You, and to know that that voice was just basically broken through abuse, it's just the ultimate betrayal of somebody who deserved better. And
Right.
so to hear Mariah's voice at this stage in the game still be able to hit so much of what she used to is very impressive. And it's a sign of somebody who respects the shit out of their voice and has done everything they could over the years to preserve their voice.
Mm-hmm.
So I appreciate it, and I'm here for her. I think she sounds amazing on this, and I'm just glad we still have Mariah. Like, seriously, she had a really tough life, and she talks about it in her book, which I have not read, but I have heard interviews from. Like, her sister was super abusive to her. Her dad was super abusive to her mother. She had a super controlling husband. The music industry was not very kind to Mariah, did not take her seriously as an actual writer of song. And, you know, at every turn, it just seemed like because she was so popular, people wanted to hate on her more and more and more. And she's still here. We haven't lost her to drug abuse. We haven't lost her to drinking. We haven't lost her to her mental health collapse. So I'm really glad that 25 years later, this Mariah still existed.
Yeah. It's really interesting how, like, the Mariah I've always known has always been Diva Mariah. Like, that is sort of her public appearance, is that she is known to be a diva. And it's like, you know what? She had a hard life. She was talented. Let her be a diva. You know, she wants to sit in her ball gown at home. Who cares? You know?
Absolutely. So the next song we're going to talk about is not on the track list for number 1 to Infinity, but it is Alex's clip that he wanted to make sure that we talked about before we got off the chat. So Alex, tell us about Forever.
So this one is off of Daydream, and it is one of my favorite non-singles off of the album. I just love like the old school 60s styled swing sound, and I really like that she used that in her song, and it's just a very sweet ballad, because also with my music taste, especially during COVID, I branched out into a lot of different genres. Like, I never expected to become a yeehaw queen with the country music, but that happened. And then I really started getting into this old 50s and 60s girl groups and some like 50s and 60s R&B singers. So I've just really been branching this music, and I've really come to enjoy this like swing 60s sort of sound. So I really thought I want to talk about this one because it ties into my music discovery journey of the nows. But I did not know that there was like this concert live video until Sam put it in the playlist. It was, you know, it's just a live stage, not much to expect from like a live stage of a song that's not like a really popular song. But I was a little disappointed in the styling and for what she wore during the performance, like this black trench coat. She sang this beautiful song in this black trench coat, where black trench coats, those are the things where you just open up and flash somebody on the streets. I think like a gown was required for this song because it's a very beautiful song. It's not trench coat wearing worthy. But it's one of my favorites off of the Daydream album.
I like the fact that she made sure to start the clip with showing the fans because, you know, I think years from now, people won't remember how iconic some of these celebrities were. And so to have like the video evidence of people like losing their minds just to get a glimpse of a celebrity, I think is pretty cool. I thought the song was okay. It's not my favorite, but it's all right. But it takes place at the Tokyo Dome, and Shiny has performed there. So there's another K-pop 6 degrees of separation for you. Take that one, bitches. But
Okay,
yeah,
that's a
it's
stretch.
it's stretched, but it's true. They have a whole DVD, Shiny at Tokyo Dome, so it's a thing.
So does Girls' Generation.
So there you go, a link to Mariah.
Okay.
Mariah.
I'll take it.
Yeah, I
There-
had no strong opinions on this song, but I'm gonna give it a listen. This whole thing I'll listen to a second time. I listened to all these songs once.
I think of the 2 greatest hits albums that we've discussed so far, because we've only done 2 so far, this is the greatest hits album that I would be the most likely to buy if I didn't already own a Mariah Carey greatest hits album, because I own the first one that they released, which is the one with the white background and the butterfly. And also, like, I kind of like some of the songs on that one a little bit more. Like, there's some more interesting selections on that one. But this is a number ones collection, which says a lot about Mariah. She
Right.
managed to fill an entire 19-track song, or 19-track album, with 18 number ones.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy. That's insane. And she has so many like number 2s or top 5s that are also iconic that we did not even get into. Like you talked about, Alex, Like That, which was the part 1 of the We Belong Together video. That was a huge hit. That was a huge hit. And it's not on here only because it didn't make it to number 1. And there are tons of other songs in Mariah Carey's discography that are super popular with her fans. Butterfly, one of her biggest ballads, it's not on here because it didn't make number 1, but it's a huge song for her. So I think Mariah Carey is somebody that people need to go and look further into her discography, because there's a lot there to love, a lot there to love. And also her remix game. She has a greatest remixes album, I believe, that has a lot of her remixes on it. Worth checking out. She's super talented. She's super good. Also, Ariana Grande owes her career to Mariah Carey. I said it, I mean it.
I thought that this album, instead of choosing like the earlier greatest hits, this was like a good introduction to someone that might not know a lot of Mariah Carey songs, maybe heard them here, there on the radio, or just through common pop culture, because it's just like the singles, like the number ones. So it was like a good introduction to like, oh, you don't know much about Mariah Carey? Listen to this, because this is like the history, the timeline. And then after you like, oh, I really like this, then you can like go back and find the other gems that are on her albums that might not have been as popular, but are still really fantastic songs.
Yeah, this felt like a good introduction. I would say, walking away from it, I would have to check out more of her stuff to say that I'm like a big fan. I feel like I enjoy a lot of who Mariah Carey has inspired, and I appreciate that she's inspired them. And then less of like, oh, I love all of these. But I also just don't love pop ballads as much. And this is a lot of pop ballads. So maybe like in like her later years, checking out some more of her R&B stuff would probably be a good route.
I think so. There's one number 1 song that we didn't talk about, which I think we mentioned way early on, and that is All I Want for Christmas. It's not on this list because this came out before All I Want for Christmas went number 1. We talked about that earlier, so just don't think that we forgot it or that we're not mentioning all her number 1s. Literally, that song did not make number 1 until after this list came together.
It would also ruin this album.
Huh?
I said it would also ruin the album, because you can't just have like one random Christmas song on an album. It'd be horrible.
I mean, I guess if you were just being technical about it, it would need to be included, but it just, like I said, it wasn't number 1 yet. But I feel bad because when I think of Mariah Carey, again, like, especially with Mason being a prime example, there's a lot of people who weren't participating in pop culture when Mariah was in her highest popularity. And so in 20 years, even though we've got all these number ones, people will know Mariah Carey for her Christmas song.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that makes me sad. Like, I'm really glad that she's leaned into it and like she'll perform that song at the drop of a dime.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also really sad because like people won't know some of these other really great songs because she's going to be the Christmas lady.
That's true. It's not too late for her to release another hit, though.
Yeah, I mean, you know, she's in her 50s now, I believe. I think she just turned 50 recently.
Mm.
So, I mean, she's still got plenty of time. She might pull a Tina Turner and like come out in her retirement phase and have like one more really big hit. But, you know, it is a lot harder because pop culture doesn't really lean towards older women. The fact that Cher came back with Believe when she did, that doesn't happen. That's a once in a lifetime career turnaround.
Right. What would you guys say are your 3 favorite songs from this collection?
Ooh.
For me, I would say Fantasy, Honey, and We Belong Together are my 3 favorites.
I think because I'm sappy, I Don't Want to Cry, My All, and Always Be My Baby.
Those are good ones.
Oh, the romantic in you.
No, and I'm such a hateful bitch. You wouldn't believe it was me.
I'm going with Fantasy, Emotions. I really liked Love Takes Time.
Oh, that was a surprising number 3. I really thought you were going to say Always Be My Baby as your number 3.
I picked Love Takes Time because you said Always Be My Baby, and I was like, I'm gonna pick something. Shout out to a different song.
Okay. So
Fantasy, the original though, I'm sorry. The remix, cute and important for the times, but I like the original more.
Oh yes, Fantasy, I will only listen to the Mariah Carey version.
they're both her version, friend.
But Mariah Carey's solo version. You know what I mean.
I'm only gonna listen to the right one. Okay. So I'm like, yeah, if you like Big Lotto, that's fine. But you know. But also the remix version has the best ad libs of that song. Like, I wish there was a middle ground for that, because when you listen to the remix version, she does a lot of ad libs in it that would be really cool if they were added to the original. But
I wonder if someone's done that mashup like on YouTube.
I need to see that. Hopefully somebody's done that, because it does add to the song. It really does. Okay, so talk about Mariah Carey aside, we need to let everybody know kind of what the schedules are moving forward. And also, like, I'm not going to give you the Instagram for Mariah Carey because, bitch, it's Mariah Carey. Just type in her name. It's going to come up. Like, do you need me to fucking hold your hand? You know how to find it. Sorry, but I'm just saying.
So there's been a slight schedule change, and that schedule change is that I like refuse to just like, and I have a hard time engaging in discussions about Call Me by Your Name. And I'll go over that in a solo video that I'll post about it. Sam is more than welcome to watch that movie, and if she wants to talk about it with me, she can call me privately. But I don't want to have like a public conversation about this movie. I like it a lot. I literally, like, after we decided to do it, like the next day I got into an argument about it at work, and it's just like, I need to stop getting into arguments with people about this movie. So I will review it solo. Sorry to say. I know Sam's the fun one of this thing, but hopefully my Call Me by Your Name review will be insightful in some ways.
I'm not the fun one. I'm just the most verbose.
The guy is very cute though. Timothy Chalamet. He's cute.
He's cute. But yes, so that'll be the next Boys Love thing. After that, the next music that we're doing, which I haven't even told Sam yet, I have picked the Wonder Girls.
Wow, I was not expecting that at all.
Really?
Okay.
What were you thinking?
I don't know. I guess because we did Mariah, I thought Ariana was next. So
No, I'm
yeah.
not setting myself up for that.
Oh, that's so funny.
I know
Okay.
better.
All right. So yeah, the Wonder Girls. All right. I can't wait to figure out which songs you choose, because I mean, I know what songs I would choose, but you're gonna put B-sides and I don't know.
So I'm not gonna put B-sides because we can't talk about the Wonder Girls without talking about solo music. So it'll be kind of like FX, where it'll be title tracks and then solo music, because Wonder Girls has a lot of solo music that I feel like we need to discuss.
Okay, I have a question then.
Break it into two parts.
No. Does that mean that the Hyuna discussion is going to be a part of the Wonder Girls discussion?
I feel like Hyuna merits her own video, but I will put a Hyuna song on there for sure.
Okay.
Because she's a Wonder Girl, we have to talk about her. And I think we can have the Hyuna conversations while we're there.
Gonna be spicy. Congratulations on your marriage, girl.
Yeah, I would love to do. I just love Hyuna's if you guys don't know, Hyuna's like my second favorite after CL. So like I could do a whole Hyuna episode, but I won't put Sam through that. I'll just pick. So we're doing the
Gosh.
alsk20 guide. No, Hyuna has the B-sides, okay? I'm not.
I can't do a whole Hyuna episode, but I could talk at length about the whole 365 era, because wow, girl, what? The fact that you had the guy you were fucking in the video with like another band member, and then like was bold enough to show in the video like it's supposed to be a threesome, but really we are the only two fucking here.
Mm-hmm. It was Hyuna and her twink and her twink's twink.
Who got none. Who got none. Who looks sad the entire time.
Yeah. So sneak peek into our Wonder Girls discussion. There's just a lot to talk about. They're such an influential group. Sam has a long history with them. I have a long history with them. And
literally my introduction to K-pop. Like this is my K-pop origin story.
Yeah. So there's just so much good things to say about the Wonder Girls. And we get to talk about Park Jin Young, who also we could do a whole episode on, and we would be the only two to talk about.
Man, listen, JYP, if there was a such thing as like VH1's Behind the Music, but for K-pop people, he would need to be the very first episode, because he really is that dude.
He is K-pop in a lot of ways.
Yeah, absolutely.
#1 K-pop hits. Anyways, sorry.
So it's going to be Mason doing a solo commentary about Call Me By Your Name. Then we're going to do the Wonder Girls for music, and then following that up with Scam season 3.
Yes.
So we can talk about Isak and Evan.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be next. Oh, and follow up to a video that we did not that long ago. We did a review of The Color Purple, the movie, and it was recently announced that a musical version of the movie will be made. It was already a musical on Broadway, so it's not just now being turned into a musical.
It's the musical movie of the musical.
Right. Yeah, with big names. Taraji P. Henson is going to be Suge Avery. Homegirl from Orange is the New Black is going to be Sophia. Mm-hmm. And Fantasia Barrino will be Celie.
Reprise.
It'll be I think they have a lot of talented people behind this movie, and I think it'll be really good. Also, I love a movie musical, so.
Yes. Please don't give it the Cats treatment. Please.
It can't. I think the studios learned their lesson from Cats.
Yeah. Also, I have not watched the musical The Color Purple. Question, is the lesbian subplot still a part of the musical?
We'll have to see.
I really hope that they keep that in there. I know that it probably wouldn't be some people's favorite choice, but I think it adds a lot to the story, and I would hate to see that eliminated from the story.
It's such a big moment for Celie. I feel like they have to have it. Not even as like a gay awakening, just like the first time someone outside her sister did her like a great kindness and made her feel like she was beautiful, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't even mention that Chloe from Chloe and Halle is in the movie. She plays Nettie, Celie's sister. And
Ooh.
yeah,
Yeah, isn't
and
it
then
Halle?
like yeah, you're right. It's Halle, not Chloe. It's
Mhm.
Halle.
Busy year for her, Color Purple and Little Mermaid. Good for her.
Big deal. And then like the guy who plays Mister, I don't know him from whatever show that they referenced, but if anyone's seen the movie Zola, he plays like the really aggressive African pimp. He's
Oh,
going to be a fantastic Mister because he's terrifying in Zola.
I still haven't seen Zola, but it's on the list.
Please watch it after we get off of here. It's such an entertaining movie. If you like movies about hoes, this is the one for you.
I mean, I've read the Twitter thread that it's based on.
You have to watch the movie. There's little things in the movie that like there's a scene where the lead character and the side character girl go into the bathroom to pee, and I can't say anything about it other than to be like that scene literally is character defining.
Okay,
A scene of people being on the toilet is character defining.
interesting. Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Well, you'll get to hear the I'm Here song again. Very beautiful song. All the people that have sang that song in the original musical. Very beautiful song.
Yeah.
It's really great. So Alex, do you want people to follow you on any particular socials if they're more interested in just hearing your point of view of the world?
So my Twitter is alsk20. I guess that's where I'm most active. My YouTube is also alsk20. I'm a frosty bitch. I can be very mean sometimes. But it's because I have very strong opinions about things I'm passionate about. Okay. Sugarcoat nothing. Yeah. So alsk20 is where you can find me on the Twitter and the YouTube.
Yes, and don't let the smooth taste fool you. Alex is actually a complete sweetheart. He's a dear friend of ours. We've known him for years now, and yeah, he's a wonderful person, and I'm really glad that we got to share this particular vlog with you.
Me too.
Thank you. I really enjoyed getting to talk about Mariah Carey.
I love having our friends on. We should have more friends on.
And
I
when
did
you're
too.
ready to fight and scream about EXO, I will be ready, boxing gloves ready.
How many? Oh no, I like Lotto and you guys don't. That's the fighting and screaming. The silence, the stares. I can feel it radiating from Colorado and Northern California. Lotto's good. You know what? I'm not gonna take this.
I mean, we all have our guilty pleasures. Some of them are guiltier than others.
Okay. Damn.
Yeah.
If you
Well,
love it, that is great. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this is now embarrassing for me. And since I have control over this Zoom meeting, I am ending it.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.